This review is of Reed Instruments R4500SD hot wire anemometer kit, which comes with the 16 gigabyte micro SD card with adapter, as well as 110 volt power supply. You can also get 220 volts if that's what you're running on in your country. And it comes with a hard case, batteries, and of course the temperature probe and the meter. So it measures air velocity only in feet per minute, meters per second, kilometers per hour, miles per hour, and knots, and air temperature. Now, it's probably ambient air temperature. It has two separate probes. One is the hot wire, the other one is a thermistor to measure the temperature of the air. They're both on the probe. It has data hold and minimum and maximum functions, as well as sampling from 1 to 3600 seconds, I think, per minute. 1 to 3600 seconds. Yeah, sorry, per second. 1 to 3600 samples per second. Sorry. And it's got a 1-year warranty. So I'm not even going to bother to put this in. I don't need this. I'm not going to use this either. I'm just going to do this with the batteries. All right, so it comes with this nice hard case for use in the field, which isn't useful to me because I'm only using this for testing computer fans. But it has a manual in multiple languages, and it's got this protective foam on it. It's also got the probe, and you can transfer data from this unit to your device, your computer or whatever, to like a spreadsheet. And you would need the RS-232 output cable in order to do that. In other words, you have to have a rather specialized cable, so you need to get RS-232 to some kind of USB 3 cable. And I'm not even sure what the maximum transfer rate is for RS-232 cables. Also, if you use the power supply, you'll be able to plug that in right there. Otherwise, that just stays closed up. Accessing the rear, or rather, more specifically, the battery compartment, you use a small screwdriver to open up these two. And then you would need 6 AA batteries. You can also set it up so that it is easier for you to use. Let me just get rid of the case here, since it's nothing but in the way, as is the box. So you can, unfortunately, tends to flop around. It doesn't have a thing that holds the stand open, so you have to do that with your fingers. Also, if you want to mount it on a tripod, you can do that. And I believe that's the serial number. All right. Now, as far as using this is concerned, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Phobia Nano G12 120 millimeter PWM silent maximum 1500 RPM fan with red LED that can be turned on and off to test the probe. And as you can see, there's the thermistor that checks the temperature. And when you want to actually use the hot wire part of it, it's a little bit difficult to get it open, but there it is right there. Let me try to get that focused. Okay, there you go. Now you can see it much more clearly. And so when you're not using this, make sure that you keep that closed, but otherwise you're going to want it open all the way so it's not blocking the thermistor or the hot wire. And this does extend. I don't remember specifically how long the probe is. Hold on. Okay, so here are the specifications for this product. It does also come with a place where you can plug in a Type K or Type J temperature probe. It does not come with that, and I don't understand what Type K and Type J temperature probes are. The telescoping probe goes up to from 280 to 940 millimeters, which is going to be great if you're testing HVACs. For my purposes, it's absolutely not necessary, and one of the downfalls of it doing it that way is this super long cable here slows down data transmission from the probe to the meter, resulting in you don't get real-time results. You get a delay of a few seconds. But it's easy enough to plug it into the top of the device. Just have to match it up. And there's the holes for the type F and type J temperature probes. And there's really nothing else other than that there for the SD card. Now, when you want to use it, obviously, you're going to start by pushing the button for power. And that turns on the light, the backlight. And then it counts down from 10 to 0, so it takes that long to, presumably, to calibrate. But I'm not really sure why it takes so long. And you'll notice it's already got a reading of 0.41, and that is not temperature. The temperature is here. This is something else, and I don't know what it is, but it's very frustrating because, as you may have noticed when I showed this, there is a reset thing right here in the middle between the other two. I reset it a couple of times, and it made absolutely no difference. So there's no wind going through, and I'll demonstrate by closing it that even with this closed, it does drop, but it doesn't show 0, which makes no sense whatsoever. This should be sensitive enough to register that the device is closed, and thus there's no airflow. So something is miscalibrated. And this is the way it came for when I first checked it out last weekend. After I got it, it was like that. It was around 35. So when you open it up, then it gets worse. So it's very, very frustrating right off the bat. Also frustrating is if you want to use these functions, since they've gone cheap and only put in 5 buttons, you are forced to do long presses. So if you want to turn off the backlight, or turn it off, that is, sorry. If you want to turn it off, you have to do a long press. If you want to turn off the backlight, that's the short press. So that's not a big deal. I think it's easier to read that way. And then if you want to change the function or use hold, you have to do long press. And since I don't have the temperature probes, that doesn't help. And now I've got it on hold while it's calibrating, or whatever the heck it's doing. Should be calibrating, but still not showing zeros. So we can, short press does hold, and we can record the data that's going to be sent to the device, which will be saved on the SD card. And you can change the settings for time and date by using this, and you can use this for logging the information. I'm going to turn that off. Again, a long press. So it's kind of frustrating. So I'm going to plug in my fan now, and we can see what kind of a reading we're going to get off of this. I'm not going to vary the fan speed any. Just want to show you that it does actually register it. Now I plugged this fan into a fan controller, and it suggested that the fan's maximum RPMs was up to 1630, but the maximum is supposed to be around 1500, so I think that that was not accurate. So as you can see now, it is running. I've got a short cable here, so I'm going to have to move everything over. And get the meter in here. Oh, I wish I had a cameraman. Now, there is a, whoops, touching that, sorry. There is a direction of airflow that you're supposed to do, and it's on this side. There's that dot. That's the side where the air is supposed to be going in. And you can see that it's doing fine at measuring this at 5 point. Okay, it's going up. Stop that. Let's get a little bit closer and see just how fast this can go. This works on the principle of heat. So the wire is being heated up, and as it's being heated up, darn it, sorry about that. As it's being heated up, the device keeps track of how much effort is being put into keeping it warm. I'm not sure what the temperature would actually be, or why it shows, or if that's the reason why it shows that there is air movement when it's closed. But the maximum airflow, which is not the same as the velocity, which is what this is measuring, is supposed to be 64.3 cubic feet per minute. And there's, I'm sure, a way to convert that mathematically, but I don't know the formula, and it's not really relevant at this point anyways. So you can see that it actually does work. I'm going to turn off the fan. Ow. Just a second. All right, so here are my thoughts on this device. First of all, even when you buy a kit, I believe even the more expensive kit, because this one was like, I got this one on sale and also used a discount code to get it down to the kit. I mean, everything I showed you, plus the power supply, I believe, was separate, for about $350, I think it was. And normally it can be like 300, I think 380 or something like that. And all you're really getting, in addition to the meter, the batteries, and the, I think you get the probe, is also the SD card, I think. But you can look at readinstruments.com and look it up yourself. But anyways, I found it irritating that I had to order the power supply and that there was no option for a non-telescoping hot wire probe. Also, of course, that it's not calibrated from the factory, so it doesn't give me a proper readout. So I'm going to have to alter any results that I get by whatever that mistake happens to be at the time that I'm testing, which it doesn't, really instill confidence in me. And the delay caused by this long cable that is not a high-speed cable is, to me, unacceptable. Maybe for somebody doing HVAC testing, they don't care, but I care, because I'm looking for real-time information that will help me to evaluate computer fans. And then finally, having to long press. They could have just spent more money and added long presses on here and airflow, because there's really no excuse for a product that, compared to the Von Voisin I tested and the ProMax that I tested, this is like $350 or so, and yet it only does velocity. It doesn't even do airflow, what the other two did. Now, granted, also the ProMax also did ambient temperature, dew point temperature, and one other temperature, as well as humidity. Did a lot more. It was not terribly accurate, but it had a lot of functions. Why is this so stingy on functions? What is the reason for it? So I'm really not satisfied with this. And I guess if you don't care about the problems that I've experienced with this product, you might want to spend $350 on it. But for me personally, I'm not going to recommend it. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.